You're scrolling through endless DJ controller options because you need something that actually works when you're in the booth, not just a glossy spec sheet. You've probably felt that little knot in your stomach wondering if you're about to drop $1,000 on a piece of gear that looks amazing but ends up being a nightmare to live with. I get that hesitation. The last thing you want is a controller that looks great on paper but makes you fight the jog wheels every night, or forces you to buy extra software just to get the basics right. That's why I spent a solid weekend setting up the Pioneer REV7 the way a real-world gig would demand, and I'm going to walk through what I found, what it's worth, and who should actually consider putting this on their desk. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the REV7 is marketed as a battle controller, which tells you exactly what kind of workflow it's built for. If you're a turntablist, a battle-oriented DJ, or anyone who likes to do live scratching and beat juggling, the motorized platters are the headline feature. They spin like real vinyl, so the tactile feedback is there, and the resistance feels close enough to a record that you can actually feel the groove. In a live setting, that means you can cue, scratch, and reverse roll without having to mentally translate a static jog wheel into a vinyl feel. I tried a typical 15-minute warm-up set where I mixed house tracks with a few old hip-hop breaks, and the platters responded instantly to fine-grained nudges. There was no lag, and the motor torque was strong enough that the vinyl-like resistance didn't wear you out after an hour of back and forth. The other big selling point is the Magvel Pro faders. Those are the smooth, high-resolution sliders that Pioneer built into its professional-grade gear. In practice, they gave me buttery transitions between tracks. When I was doing a quick BP match on 2 tracks with a big drop, the fader moved silently, without the little click you hear on cheaper units. That's not just a feel thing, it actually kept the energy up on the floor because I didn't have to pause and adjust the fader manually. If you're the type who loves to push the fader to the extremes during a build-up, the Magvel Pro will hold up. I tested it by pulling the fader from 0 to full in under a second, and there was no stutter. Now, let's talk about the software side. The REV7 is a Serato DJ Pro Powerhouse, meaning it's fully integrated with Serato out of the box. When you plug the unit into your laptop, Serato launches, maps automatically, and you're ready to go. There's no need to spend an hour digging through MIDI mapping settings. The See Your Set screen on the controller mirrors the main Serato window, showing waveforms, cue points, and track info right on the hardware. In a crowded club where you can't constantly stare at a laptop, that visual feedback is a real time saver. I ran a mock club scenario where the lighting was low and the crowd was moving, and being able to glance at the controller's LCD for cue points meant I didn't miss my next track entry. All of those features sound great, but they also come with trade-offs you need to weigh. The biggest practical downside is the size and weight. The REV7 is a solid 12-kilogram beast, built like a piece of pro audio equipment rather than a portable laptop friend. If you're a mobile DJ who travels by car and needs to fit everything in a single case, you'll find loading and unloading a little cumbersome. I had to disassemble the unit from its stand and carry it in a padded case that's essentially a mini couch. That's fine if you're gigging at a permanent venue or you have a dedicated road bag, but for someone who does pop-up gigs at coffee shops, it can feel like overkill. Another practical point is the price tag. At around $1,800, the REV7 sits in the premium range. For a beginner who's just experimenting with scratching, that's a steep investment. You'll also need a laptop that meets Serato's system requirements, and you'll want a decent pair of headphones. The total cost can easily climb past $2,000. If you're only looking to add a few scratches to a DJ set once a month, you might be better off with a more entry-level controller that still offers a jog wheel with tactile feedback, and then upgrade later. Who should buy this? If you're already performing live battle mixes, competing in DJ battles, or you have a residency that expects you to drop serious turntablism into the set, the REV7 gives you the tools to do it without compromise. It also works well for club DJs who want a controller that can handle heavy fader work and still integrate seamlessly with Serato. For those who already own a Serato license and want a hardware upgrade that feels like a professional setup, this is a logical next step. Who?